gather here this morning, we're coming near the end of what's been probably the most successful year for Irish tourism ever, and I'm going to talk to you a few numbers of that in a few moments. But as we'll be looking ahead with the industry in a little while to the future, looking to the future, there are a few challenges that are there that I know people have got like a mixed view of where things are at. So we have, for example, challenges the industry will need to deal with: the recent VAT increase. We have Brexit. We have some capacity pinch points and some bottlenecks in the system that we need to work our way through. So, but despite all of these challenges, we believe that there is significant grounds for optimism for the tourism industry, and we think that we can overcome these challenges and that we can deliver further growth. Look, from the US, also a good outlook from mainland Europe, and the sun is beginning to rise in the east with the access now we have into China. Of course, we have the big cloud over our closest market and one of our biggest markets, the UK, and we'll come and talk about that in a moment. When we translate that into what does it look like for air access, and as an island, access is the first and most important thing for the growth of tourism. And our initial forecast of access for next year is showing significant growth in air access, with Europe and North America growing by 6% and 7% respectively in air access, and also good growth. Even the UK is showing some good growth in access. Obviously, this is all predicated on what we call a mid-case Brexit, in terms of that we will have an orderly Brexit. If there is a hard Brexit and the collapse of open skies and things like that, then it will be a different scenario. So this is our core forecast based on what we call a mid-case Brexit. When we translate that access growth into what do we think that will mean for visitor numbers, because obviously planes can be filled with people leaving the country as well as people coming into the country. So when we look at visitor numbers, first of all, let's just spend a moment looking at 2018. We're projecting by the end of this year we're going to have about 7% growth in overseas visitor numbers, and with some solid growth on domestic trips, and Northern Ireland recovering a little bit from a particularly tough year in 2017 and 2016. So overall, we're looking at about a 4% growth in visitor numbers, and next year we're projecting that will turn into about a further 3% growth in visitor numbers, 4% in overseas and about 2% in domestic and Northern Ireland trips. And that's our projection for 2018. When we look at the revenue impact of that, and I suppose revenue is more important because that's what makes the wheels go round. This year we're forecasting that we're going to end the year with a phenomenal 8% growth in tourism revenue. When we feed that into our economic modelling, what that predicts is that there's going to be about 20,000 incremental jobs created because of the tourism impact this year, growing to a total impact of about 260,000 jobs created by tourism in the country. So a phenomenal performance in 2018. Going forward into 2019, we believe that this can grow even more by a further 5%. Obviously, we've got a few more headwinds coming at us next year. But we still think that the sector can grow by as much as 5% in tourism revenue, which is on top of obviously a much higher base going into the year.